Oh my God.
Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.
Huntington Beach bad boy, the people's champ, Tito Ortiz! Tito Ortiz! What's up, Stockholm? I didn't even know that was the feature on the changing to the people's champ. That was very good. You'd think I wrote that intro or something. Yeah.
You did a good job on it.
But I can't do it. I said it, I did say it on the air, the people's champ, but it was difficult. Because you're in my heart as the Huntington Beach bad boy.
We all got to grow up, right?
Yes, we do. But you earned that. You worked hard to get that moniker, though.
Yeah, and people still know what I do best.
Yes, they do.
And,
yes, they do.
So
you look good. You look healthy. You look happy.
Yeah. Getting ready for was it UFC 148 in Vegas, MGM Grand,
July 7th.
Maybe my last one.
Yeah, you and Forrest doing it again.
Yes.
Why Forrest Griffin? Why was that so interesting?
Because the first fight we had, it was close. I won a split decision. The second fight, I thought I won the first 2 rounds, and they ended up giving him the fight. So, he's a big name. People want to see the third fight. So let's crush Forrest's face the third and last time.
There you go. Well, you're used to seeing opponents more than once. I mean, you've kind of had a career of trilogies, haven't you?
A lot of them, actually.
I remember the olden days when you sent a message to the Lions Den. I still can visualize Ken trying to jump over the cage that night. And so can you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I was scared for you. You weren't scared. I was scared for you.
He had his opportunity 3 times. I shut him up. But that's what I do best, I guess.
And you know what? The Ultimate Fighter, that was one of the best seasons. Having you guys go at it was a blast.
Yeah, Ultimate Fighter was good. People got to see the coaching ideas that I've had. Of course, anybody knows, before I was going to be a fighter, I was going to be a wrestling coach, school teacher, and I wanted to help out with kids. I mean, working with the youths was my main goal in life, I thought. But instead of working with 40 kids in a wrestling room, I was able to work with hundreds of thousands of kids across the world of showing what hard work and dedication can achieve, and I've been doing it since.
So is that maybe your future, is working in the coaching profession? I know you want to stay around it, obviously.
I would love to stay around the UFC. I guess those questions got to be answered by Dana Lorenzo. I don't know, build the next Tito Ortizes, build the next superstars. I think I could help them do that. I see a lot of fighters that don't want to do PR, they don't want to do this, and it's, why not?
Yeah.
Give every one of these fans the understanding of who you are and what you do and why you do it. Get in the cage and fight, and it's fun to do that. People want to know what type of person you are. So they have some type of association to associate to, and I've done that same thing. I mean, I was a kid growing up who my parents had a drug problem and living in motels, living in cars. I wasn't supposed to achieve anything in life, but I showed with hard work and dedication that you can't achieve anything. Through my UFC career, I've gone through some major surgeries. I have an L4-5S1 in my lower back fused, fighting a year after, having C6, C7 in my neck fused, fighting 6 months after. Athletes don't come back. Yeah, and winning. Yeah, athletes don't come back after stuff like that, and I'm very thankful. I have a great doctor in Las Vegas, Dr. William Smith, who did the surgery. But I think there's either God looking over me or an angel looking over me. But I didn't think I was going to be destined to the things I've been achieving. But I just want to be an inspiration to a lot of people's lives, knowing that no matter what challenges you got through life, so you can't achieve anything. Just keep your mind straight and don't step on anybody to get ahead, and work really, really hard, and that's what I do.
I think you've already done all of that.
Yeah,
more
I got a lot more to do.
I'm
still young. I got a lot more to do.
How old are you now?
37. Just turned 37 in January.
Actually, you're getting old.
Yeah, no,
you were about 13 when I started calling your fights.
Right? UFC 13.
UFC 13. You actually beat me. Because I came on at Ultimate Japan, UFC 15.
It was actually Joe Rogan. I remember him interviewing me after. And
he had hair then.
Yeah, he actually did have hair then. Yeah. And he wasn't as big as he is now.
No, he was not. He was a true welterweight then.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Standing here next to this guy, I mean, he's 205. But he was the first master understanding the way to cut weight properly and the way to come in and be bigger than your opponent. And I used to remember that in the olden days, that you would come in,
people used to call me the same size because of it. And I was like, no, I'm just smarter than the rest of them.
You did it smart, but you were big and powerful. But that was your game. Your game was to beat them up and brawl and do whatever you had to do to win the fight.
Yeah, it was ferocity, as they say. I come in and overwhelm people. Yep. It was funny because when me and Jennifer's hooked up, she was like, "You don't have any cuts on your face." I'm all, I don't get hit.
Exactly.
I'm always the person on top dominating.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But there's some cuts under there.
Yeah,
and my elbows hurt.
Right? You know, my elbows do hurt. Actually, they
hurt.
still do hurt.
Absolutely. Hey, this is all about you guys, so don't be shy. We've got microphones on each side. Come on up, ask any questions you want.
Any questions, all questions.
The people's champ, Tito
I guarantee you I can answer them.
Yeah, he usually will have good answers too, so don't be shy. This gentleman's going to get us started. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I would like to know, looking back on all of your fights, which one is your most favorite, and which one do you think is the most important in terms of your legacy?
You know, I have two of them. My number one was actually beating Vanderlei Silva for the middleweight title, which is light heavyweight title now. After only a year and a half of competition, I became the world champion, and I dominated against one of the brightest middleweights, which light heavyweights now, in the world at the time. But I think, God, I can say three of them now. When I fought Vitor Belfort, and he broke my nose in the first minute and 30 seconds of the fight, and I ended up pulling a decision out of the fight. And he said, mountains don't make champions. Well, that night I showed him that, yeah, being up in Big Bear in the altitude, it makes champions. But I think the third and last fight was against Ryan Bader. Everybody counted me out. Everybody said, you're not going to be able to do it. You guarantee you're not going to be able to do it. And then there was my family and my friends going, Tito, you're going to crush this kid. You're going to crush him. And I wasn't there to prove anybody wrong. I was there to prove everybody right, to knowing that I ain't going anywhere. I was here to still fight, and I'm fighting the best guys, the top of their game. I'm not getting dominated. I'm not getting knocked out unconscious. And, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve when I come out and fight. And when I won that fight, there's no energy like that that I've ever felt in any of my fights, even winning the world title. But at the same time, you know, that next day when I woke up in the morning, and I am human. I woke up and I sat there in bed and I cried for a little bit. Just a cry of joy, knowing that I was thankful. God gave me some gifts, and I've gone through back surgery, neck surgery, knee surgery, and I'm able to compete against young kids who are up-and-comers. And I'm still a force to be reckoned with. And people respect that, you know, and I see a lot of people who follow me on Twitter and on Facebook, of course. And I said, you're a legend. You're a legend. You know, you're an icon of the sport. And that has always been my goal in this career of UFC, is trying to build this as one of the most worldwide known sports around. And I think Dana and Lorenzo are making that happen for us fighters to showcase for every one of you fans. I mean, it's awesome being here in Stockholm and Sweden and just showing the respect and, you know, the passion that fans have for us fighters. And it's just very nice and a very welcome thing to have.
Thank you, Tito. Thank you for the answer in all of the fights. You still got it, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, to be here in Stockholm is pretty amazing when you consider some of the cities fighting at Casino Magic in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, and outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. I mean, Rogan and I laugh all the time. We went to some bad places for a while, didn't we?
Some places, in Louisiana, I think there's only 1,500 people in the audience.
Yeah. And we gave out most of those tickets.
And they gave out all most of the tickets, and all of a sudden they're like, all right, in the middle of the event, all right, all you guys are sitting way up there. You guys can come sit down here. And I was like, I think I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I think we said please, so it looked better on TV.
Yeah, right.
You know? But that's the thing. That's like I said when Tito came out. This is the man who helped to bring us to where we are today, because without people like Tito Ortiz, the Fertittas wouldn't have bought the UFC. Without you, without Chuck, without Randy Couture. Obviously, Vitor Belfort was around a long time as well. Yeah. And now to see it blow up in that way, it has to give you a lot of great feelings to know that you really were part of building the foundation of what the UFC is today.
And that's what I mean. What I really try to do is try to educate the fans, you know, in layman terms, where they understood where us fighters are coming from. You see a lot of boxers, and they're guys who come off the street, and they're just thugs, and they just want to fight. Right. Well, no. And UFC, I mean, almost every one of the guys, they come from a college degree. Yep. I mean, we want to be teachers, you know, we want to be, you know, something more than just fighters, but just this fighting thing just came about as being very competitive. It's about competing against another man, and seeing who the better fighter is that night. And I've always been challenging myself, and I've been challenging myself over 15 years now.
That's crazy, yeah.
And I'm still fighting here. I've never fought anywhere else. I never had an amateur career. I fought in UFC as an amateur, UFC 13. I fought strictly for free because I didn't want to lose my scholarship for wrestling when I was in college. And I guess it's a love for the sport. But as years go on, you understand it's a business, and I took it as a business, and you know, I'm a businessman. I understand with hard work and dedication, you can achieve anything.
And you dress well, as
thank you. I watch you dressing, so I make sure I overdressed you today.
Thank you. And don't forget BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, a couple of the guys who helped the foundation. Question up there. Go ahead, sir.
Hi. You will fight against Forrest. When is that fight going to happen?
July 7th at the
Will
MGM Grand.
Yeah, will this be your last fight or?
Yes.
Oh, bro, no.
It'll be my last one.
Come on,
But
man.
I mean, you guys gotta understand. There's one thing that none of us, and I guarantee you, none of us will ever be able to be. It's called father time. As we get older, I've gone through some major surgeries, and I wasn't supposed to compete. I got 3 boys I got to take care of. Financially, they don't have to worry about anywhere for college. I've made their future bright and financially stable through fighting. It's time for me to move on. I think it's time for me to move on to something maybe different. There's just so many avenues of things I would love to attack. But these young guys that are coming up, I mean, Gustafsson, this kid's a stud. Johnny Bones Jones, these are young kids who are 22, 23, 24 years
Both
old.
of them at 24. I believe,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not that young kid anymore. I got to read the facts. I believe in the facts. And, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to be that guy going there getting knocked out. I ain't that type of guy. I'm very competitive. And my body starts kind of, breaking down a little easier than normal. Maybe it's time for me to walk away. 15 years. I don't think there's another fighter in the world that has been fighting in the UFC for 15 years and being consecutive fighting as I have. And I have some good records that I have achieved, longest reigning light heavyweight champion. I've done many things. So I think it's time for this new breed to come up. And if I could help out, Johnny Bones Jones calls me here and there and just asks me little small things. And I try to, lend a helping hand. I want to see fighters be successful. I ain't here to hate on anyone. I want to see them be as successful as me. But they got to understand with hard work and dedication, that stuff can happen. And it's time for me. I think it is time for me, I want to attack maybe something a little different, I think some theatrical stuff and doing some acting possibly. I seen Brock go to the WWE.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, man. I like to stir up all kinds of stuff. Because I know Dana read that, was like, damn it, Tito, what are you doing?
I was funny because George St. Pierre this morning was talking about being old, and he's 30. And I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Like, you're 30, dude. Seriously.
I've been in this game for 15 years, and I was one of the guys that every single day in practice, I try to kill myself. That way, so when I fight, I've already put myself in that situation already. So with the hard work and dedication, like I say, it's coming to a point, and I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Okay. We just love to see you fight, so.
Yeah. You'll get one more, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lorenzo's pockets are really, really deep, and you never know.
July 7th, only on pay-per-view.
I'll pay you, man.
Thank you.
I'll give you 20 crowns, so that's it.
I think that's like $2. Is it? Yeah.
Actually, it's $3.
$3, you're right. Yeah, I know. I figured that out at Subway the other day. All right, next question over here.
Yeah, I have a question. Even though all your injuries, how did you manage to get back? What was your strongest motivation to return?
My fans. My fans and my family. I mean, since day one, I've always have been intrigued by the fans of giving the support they have. Either the people who hate me or the people who love me. But everybody always talked about me because I always did something different. And when I would get out of surgery, the worst surgery I had was I had my lower back fusion, L4-5S1 fused. For the first 3 months, I was telling myself, what the hell did I do to myself? I'd come out of bed with tears in my eyes and pain of just like, I didn't think I was going to come back and fight again. But then that 3rd month, like week by week, it just got better and better and better. And I was like, all right, I got to start thinking more positive on things. And I said, what made me get through that stuff was the fans, the people who got on Twitter or on my Facebook or going to punishment.com and going, Tito, man, you could do this, you can get through this. Just show us how strong you are. And I think that's being an inspiration in people's life of knowing that, you could get through these major surgeries just as long as you keep your head on your shoulders and stay positive about things. When you start believing that you can't do it, you'll never do it. When you start believing you can do it, the sky's the limit.
Thank you so much.
He was an inspiration to me, too, about a week before my back surgery in last August. Same surgeon, Dr. William Smith. I said, what am I in for? He goes, this is going to be the worst experience of your life, Goldie. Your life is going to suck. You're going to be in so much pain. You're not going to be able to walk. I'm like, dude, this is supposed to be a pep talk. This is a great decision, Goldie. You're going to feel better. So I told Dr. Smith that. He's like, Tito, from what I heard, you had your surgery, and about 2 days later, they caught you running on a treadmill or something.
No.
That's what I heard.
No.
Allegedly.
No.
All right, walking briskly.
I walking up and down the stairs.
All right. Yeah.
Actually,
But
almost fell.
He scared the living heck out of me. I'm like, yeah, I
I
was walking in
prepared
there
you
like
for
this.
the worst,
Yes, you did.
and the best did happen.
And it did indeed. Thank you.
good.
Because I was definitely scared. Next question over here.
Hi, Tito. I have a two-part question for you. First of all, if you retire, which I don't hope, which matchup would you do for a comeback like Randy did against which fighter? And also, if you retire, do you think you will have a similar offer as Chuck Liddell did to manage the company with some big jobs?
You know,
would you take it?
those
Probably
are
going to share an office with Dana, wouldn't you?
that'd be wonderful. I don't know. I still got to build that bridge. Still, that last question. That's a question I guess Dana and Lorenzo could answer.
Would you do it?
I would do it. I would love to do it.
Is the beef gone?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and I know he thinks so. But I still got to build that bridge. I said a lot of things that I did on Complete Emotions. I'm a very emotional man, but at the same time, I look at it as, what would be the next step? Something that keeps my interest. Something that I'm going to love to do. Fighting. I've been loving it for so long. I kind of get burned out a little bit of it. Going in the gym 6 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day. That grind. I got 3 little boys and I don't want to miss them growing up. I'm in camp for 3 months, 3 times a year. That's 9 months out of the year that I'm not home. And I love my kids. I want to make sure that my kids have a father there for them, like I never had a father. And I think, if I get a job with the UFC, it would be awesome. But something I'm going to do, I guarantee you it's going to be a part of UFC or a part of mixed martial arts, and the fans still want me to see here. I mean, either that is kind of teaching other fighters coming up of making a brand of themselves. Being exciting for the fans, not just in the octagon, but outside the octagon. And, of course, I'm a huge supporter of our troops in the United States, and I try to make it over to Iraq. And thank God the war is almost over, so now we ain't got to do that anymore.
And the first question, who would you fight if you return?
If I fought, I haven't even got past the first F. I don't think I'm gonna. It's just right now I'm thinking about just Forrest Griffin, July 7th. If I came back, I think Danny get pissed if I said the guy's name, but you guys probably know the guy's name. But he won't come out of retirement either. But
Make him.
You can't make anybody do anything.
Yeah, you can. Call him a bitch.
No, that's the old bad boy image. Come on.
That's the Huntington Beach bad boy. We're now dealing with the people's champ.
I've grown up.
It's a
I'm a
different
man now. I'm not that punk little kid that's trying to sell pay-per-view anymore. I don't need to do that. My name sells the
I'll call him a
pay-per-view.
bitch.
Well, you're probably not standing
I'll get
next
the
to him
fight
either.
for you.
No, he's one of the great. He's one of the greatest light heavyweight champs himself in his own right. And me and him were buddies, and he sold out, and it's cool. It is what it is. I know more than that,
Thank you, Tito.
Cheers. Thank you.
It took a lot longer to mention his name than I thought it would.
I never mentioned his
Because every
name.
time but every time I do a Q&A with him, it doesn't take long to mention your name. It's interesting how I see you guys in like a Rocky Apollo Creed moment, just in a gym, just locked away one day, just settle the score on.
Should
your
I
own
ring the
terms.
bell?
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Let's go. Ding, ding. Exactly. Next question over here, please.
Yeah, hey Tito. I'm wondering what your 3 favorite submissions are.
3 favorite submissions: triangle, guillotine, and probably a heel hook. I do pretty good heel hooks. Okay. But I mean, I'm like I say, if people understand, they go, Tito, why don't you submit more people when you fight? I want to brutalize someone when I'm in the cage. I don't want to get a submission. The guy goes, damn, he got lucky. He caught me in that submission. I want to pound the guy through, ground and pound, elbows, and just try to end their careers. That's what I try to do. I'm not a guy to be a fancy submission artist. I'm in there to put on a show for each and one of you guys. You guys pay big dollars for the front row tickets and for the pay-per-view, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting the full 15 minutes of a fight out of it. That's what I try to do.
And a follow-up question to that. How close was that triangle on Lyoto Machida?
It was so close, I heard him gargle.
Okay.
I heard him go, and he says, actually, I popped his arm, too. He's tough, man. I made a little mistake in training. I don't ever make these mistakes again. I switched from triangle to armbar, which I should have just kept to the triangle. And you learn from the mistakes. And, he went on to win the world title. So it looks like I'm not losing to guys who are chumps, huh?
True that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you talked about it earlier, Tito. You look at the list of the guys you fought during your downtime, when you were a couple of years without a win, though. There was not, they were all current or future or past champions. at one weight or another. I mean, you were going through a who's list. Then comes Ryan Bader, who, you know, had lost to the champion John Jones. He's looking for a little redemption, and you take care of him. Then you fight the guy who's fighting for the title a week from tomorrow, and Rashad Evans. I mean,
it was
always up here, always up here.
I think I had one easy fight, and that was
UFC 13?
UFC 13.
Yeah.
And from that point out on, it was like I had a mark on my head.
Yeah.
I want to fight that guy. And all of a sudden, I watch on everyone's pay-per-views like, I want to fight Tito Ortiz. I want to fight Tito Ortiz. Like, who in the hell is that guy? I guess it's a respect value, I guess.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why you're standing where you are today.
Yeah, right.
Next question over here, please.
Hey, Tito. I got 2 questions for you. First off, I've been following you on Twitter, seeing that you're enjoying Stockholm. And I also see that you got 2 tickets left for the event for tomorrow. So how can I get my hands on those tickets? That's a legit question, all right?
That's a really good question. You know what? You're the first person that actually has asked me that question, so you get the 2 tickets.
Wow, and he doesn't even have to go to will call. How good is that?
You got to make sure you Twitter about it. See, there's a man who's been following me on Twitter who watches what I do and what I say.
You do your homework, you do your research, you are
There you go,
rewarded.
bam. What's your name, man?
Thomas.
Thomas. Congratulations, Thomas. Hope you enjoy the fights tomorrow.
Thanks.
Right on.
I have another question, though.
Yep. Okay, now you're asking a little too much. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Go.
you know
No,
what?
no. No, go
Why
ahead.
not?
Go ahead.
I'm actually thinking about, you fought Rashad Evans twice, right?
Yep.
And he's going to fight for the championship now in a couple of weeks' time. What's your take on that fight?
I don't think he'll make it out of the 3rd round against John Jones. I really don't. John Jones is a different species. I mean, not in human, just fighter in general. Long, 6'5", reach 86 inches, I believe.
84 and a half.
84 and a
And
half.
Rashad is 74.
The
Last time I checked, that's a foot.
He's a
I know it's
college
more like a
wrestler.
meter
He got
here,
great
but-
takedown defenses. Muay Thai is ridiculous.
Greco-Roman's
I'm not sure
awesome.
about his strength, but you know, when I fought Rashad, he was strong. The first time I fought him, he was weak. The second time, he put in 14-week camp, and it showed. I almost caught him in a guillotine after only 10 days of training, but it's behind me now. It's okay. But I hate losing. That's just me. But I think John Jones will pick him apart. I really do.
Thank you.
Right on. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Next question. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Tito. My name is Emil. I'm a fighter too, trying to be.
Right on.
So I was wondering, you said you were trying to kill yourself in training every day. And could you take us through a week of training in like before your next fight, for example?
Well, you know, the first 10 years, I was trying to kill myself. But then I started talking to Randy Couture. He's like, you got to do less, but quality than quantity. And as my body got starting tearing down, you know, I got ACL replacement, you know, L45S1 fused, C6, C7 fused. And I realized putting in the right type of training is really, really smart. But just go through a training session that I would usually do. I mean, I get up around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, go on about a 4-mile run, come back, have a small meal. We go back and we do our Muay Thai and boxing for about 2 hours. You know, we probably try to put in about 8 rounds. 8 5-minute rounds, a 30-second rest. Come back, have another small meal. Go back, we do our wrestling and jiu-jitsu for about 2.5 hours. We do 5-minute rounds with 30-second rest. And at that, I'm doing this in altitude. I'm doing this at 7,500 feet of altitude, which is almost 2 miles. It's hard. It's very challenging, but it's what I put in my body. You know, my body's a machine, and I want to fine-tune that oil machine, and it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. But, you know, I take it day by day. I don't think about, oh, it's Monday today and I got until Saturday. No, I just think about Monday. Monday's done. Cool. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm going to push myself harder that day. And each day, just take it day by day. You know, don't overwhelm yourself by thinking about the whole, you know, 3-month camp. I try to just take it day by day.
Thank you.
Hold on. That and watch a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Visualization's huge for me. I learned that in college. Visualize and you can achieve anything. I mean, before the fight even starts, I put myself walking out, putting inside the cage, step in front of the guy, first punch thrown, all the way to my hand getting raised. Every one of my fights, because I visualize. Visualization is a very, very big thing.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Next one over here. Now we got it rolling.
Hey Tito, hi Goldie.
How are you, buddy?
Great. First of all, I would like to say it's awesome that you're here. I would like to say it's awesome that UFC has come to Sweden.
Yeah.
As for my question, I would like to know, would you like to see your kids growing up fighting or, going to college and university and doing other stuff?
Well, this is my goal. This is the deal that I have between my son. I have a son who's 9 years old, and I have two twins who are 3. The 9-year-old, Jacob, he's in wrestling already. He won the state title in Arizona last year, and he comes to my gym and trains with me. I get to see him, twice, 3 times a month. And he's, Dad, I want to be a UFC fighter. I go, Jacob, what's our deal? He goes, I know. I got to get my master's degree first. Exactly. I work so hard for my family that I'm able to afford to go any college that he wants to go to. He wants to go to Harvard, he wants to go to Stanford, wherever he wants to go, I'm going to do it for him. But hopefully by the time he gets his master's degree, he's about 24 years old, and he's like, damn, I'm too damn smart to be a fighter now. So maybe he'll be an attorney or management, you never know. I've worked really, really hard in this game, and it's very physically and emotionally tormenting. It's torture. It's like a legal way of torture that we get paid for. But it's fun.
Thanks, Tito.
Right on. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next one over here. Go ahead, bud.
Hello, Tito.
Sorry.
Do you think that Ken Shamrock deserved to be in the cage with you 3 times? And also, is it true that your second fight saved the UFC from bankruptcy?
I don't know about saving him for bankruptcy. No. It's kind of different when you have more money than God to go bankrupt.
Were we Zuffa when you fought him the second time?
Just a rumor.
When I fought the second time? No. Actually,
still SEG?
I was still SEG.
So you might have.
But my 4th fight is in 2001 is when they first bought the company.
Right.
I've been fighting since 97.
Yeah, so your Ken fights were under the Zuffa.
My Ken's fights were under Zuffa. Okay. And the first fight, yes, I think it was mandatory that me and him fought. We had some bad blood against each other. We did the Ultimate Fighter, and he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And I was trying to be the more respectful man, and I told him, let's be coaches, and let's let the best man win, our best coach win, and I crushed him 9-3. Then he just thought he would get under my skin, and I don't think there's another person in this world that's easier to push a button and watch him turn redder and redder and redder and redder. It was like he was going to explode. After that fight, I stopped him. I think it was in 134 in the first round. The third fight should have never happened. But Dana said it's going to be on free TV. The fans didn't have to pay for it. The hell with it. Let's do it. And
did you squash the beef?
Yeah, I think I did.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times I squashed the beef. No, this is mental warfare. When you're competing against another man, and you guys got to understand, the bad image that I had, it was never against any of the fans. It was against the guy who I was fighting. I was trying to get into his brain and manipulate and just psychologist. I went to college. I took psychology 101. And you could pick a person's brain, and if you could beat them mentally before the fight even starts, half the battle's already won. And that's all I did. I was just trying to manipulate guys, just try to get them saying stuff, and everything I said was the truth. I talked to Chael Sonnen when he first started with Anderson Silva, and I said, if you speak the truth, it'll speak louder than any other word.
So it's your fault?
Yeah, it's my fault. No, it's not my fault.
So you created that animal?
No.
So it's your fault?
He had it in him.
I knew it. Well, obviously he had it in him.
No, he does it great.
He does it better than great.
Don't back off on it. Keep it up. And he's like, yeah.
But it's your fault.
Yeah.
So we are all in bulletproof vehicles in Brazil because of you.
People know who Chael Sonnen, right? He's a great fighter.
Yes, they do.
He's a great fighter.
So the interesting thing is you talk about Ken. Ken did that, though. Ken was very good in his day in mental warfare as well.
Yes.
So you were the young breed of a Ken Shamrock. I know you'll say
I
better
just
fighter, more
got to
talent.
push his buttons, like I said.
But that was his MO, too.
Yeah.
Because they used to talk about the Lion's Den in the olden days and how he would have
the
everybody
fans
intimidated.
The fans want something to trigger,
Right.
something to stick on. It's like, wow, did he really just say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a talk game, but, talking's cheap unless you can back it up, And I backed it up many a times, being the world champion in light heavyweight division, defending as many times as I did. I was able to talk smack, and I was able to back it up. There's fans and fighters who didn't like me because of it, but hey, too bad they're not me.
But I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun along the way. We could just have Rampage and Rashad talk for the next 3 years. They don't have to fight again.
Yeah, right.
That was some of the best back and
especially
forth in
Rampage.
history.
And people understand,
Oh,
Rampage was a
is
part
the
of
best.
Team Punishment.
Yeah.
Me and him would be in Big Bear in camp, and we would just demoralize each other. And I mean, team punishment, it wasn't because we're training, it was mental team punishment. I mean, we would just bag on each other so much. I mean, Rico Rodriguez, who was a heavyweight champ back in the day, he actually left the mountain. He couldn't handle it anymore. We would manipulate and pick him apart so much. He was like, fuck you guys, man, I'm going home. He ended up coming back like a week later, but it's one of those things. In a fight, you got to be mentally strong. Yeah. And it's just one of those things, man. You got to learn. It's not just a fight, it's mental. Your brain's very, very strong, and if you're able to capacitate those things and suck them in and just get past it, makes you that much stronger.
And also, Mike, go Bruins.
Go Bruins. I don't know, really. Seriously. Let me think of this. The other 15 teams in the playoffs I like better than the Bruins. Yeah, all of those. No, I think the Stanley Cup.
Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.